strobe lights beam, creates dreams. Walls move, minds do too. On a warm San Franciscan night.
The Dead are waiting for you. They're coming to get you. The Dead are waiting for you. They're coming to get you. The Dead are waiting for you. They're coming to get you.
So I can free my will, run every corner. I claim your reign to kill.
Let me see so. No. This is your wiggly teeth. It keeps telling us, I want to see it.
I took all the blame when your heart turned bright. Been beaten that
Strap
dead
something in there. Secure it.
If
Yeah,
you're,
it's something to play with.
if
You
you're
already have some to play with.
Oh.
Ah! Ah! Okay. Face.
Yeah. It's twisting.
I took all the blame when your heart
Go across the street and order appetizers.
beaten that
I want to shoot her.
Christian, thank y'all for being here. Okay, before we get started, I want to give you a rundown about the history of this tour, what this tour is, what you can expect to be happening tonight. Really?
It's a rave bus. It's a rave bus.
Is that what we're expecting tonight?
Why do you know about rave buses?
Don't ask.
I have so many more questions for you.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Sebastopol's a pumping place.
It is.
So, I have a feeling it's going to be a crazy night tonight, so we'll see what else things are going to happen. All right, so before we get started, I'm going to give you a rundown about the history of the tour, what this tour is, what you can expect to happen tonight. So this tour is 20 years old.
Wow.
Started by my good friend Jim Fassbinder, who was actually the kind of guy who had strange experiences when he was a kid. But the way he put it, he grew up in a family of cops in Chicago, and they wouldn't let him talk about it. So he grows up and he moves here, he takes ghost tours around the world, and he thinks, I think I can make one better. I think he did. He created the San Francisco Ghost Hunt Walking Tour. This is San Francisco's first ghost tour. I helped him create it, did research for him, gave the tour so many times for Jim. And after 17 years of running this tour, 7 nights a week sometimes, nearly year-round, a couple years ago at the young age of 70, he retired. And because I wanted to keep the tour alive, keep it in the family, steal a line from Texas, keep San Francisco weird. I am now the new owner of the San Francisco Ghost Hunt Walking Tour. This is the start of my 3rd year as new owner, so thank y'all for being here. Thank you. So, okay. What is the Ghost Hunt Walking Tour? I call it an historic walking tour of the Pacific Heights neighborhood. So you learn about real historic names of San Francisco, how they lived, how they died, the reports of their hauntings after that. I don't make it up, I just report it. You decide what to do with that information. Do we go inside of any place?
No.
Sadly. There's living people inside these places.
Not for long.
We got a couple
Sebastopol's a crazy
cases.
place.
We got a couple knives in the back.
That's very Sebastopol, actually.
No.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's enough.
Tone it down, Tyler. Tone it down.
That got dark quick.
Now, lastly, ways to catch a ghost. Your iPhones, your Androids. Because they can take audio, video, and photography, right? Back in the good old days, you could take an old audio cassette recorder. Cassettes were a piece of plastic about that big. You stuck a pencil in one end to rewind them like that. Remember old timey times, guys? Remember old timey times?
yeah.
We have some of them.
Cassettes.
Antiques.
So you could take one of those things, leave it in a room you thought was haunted, come back the next day, and you might hear voices or cries or scratches. Now you can turn on voice memo, leave it plugged in the whole night. Come back the next day, scroll through the file, and look for the spike in the sound. So you can't take audio during the tour. Please don't put my entire tour online. And since the beginning of digital cameras, people have come on this tour with shiny new cameras, and all of a sudden the shutter gives out, the batteries give out, or orbs or spots of light have appeared in people's photographs. So if you do take pictures, not too many pictures of someone's home. That's creepy in another way.
I won't post them on Twitter. Instagram's more my thing.
Don't use flash, because that's just rude for the people at home, right? Please don't get up underneath the window when the lights are on and they're at home. That's illegal. I occasionally have to stop people. And if you do take pictures, frame the picture perfectly, don't move, and then fire 3 shots in a row. If there's a spot of light on all 3, it's the lamppost. If there's a spot of light on just one and you did not move, that might be something. If you did not move, but the spot of light moves in all 3, that might be something. That happened last year up on California Street, and I'll tell you that story later on. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Intro. What about a ghost? Well, our first ghost is waiting for us.
Where?
Right above our heads.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Made you look. However,
Thought there was going to be a hanging.
these 6 eucalyptus trees that are going down the street were actually planted by our first ghost.
Cool.
This is a picture of the same trees back when they were babies.
Whoa, cool.
They grow up so fast, don't they? They're adorable. This is also a picture of the mansion that originally stood back here on this corner. Now, because we have a bunch of locals here tonight, I might throw in a little extra information tonight. This mansion actually sprawled that way, walled off garden in that direction. She owned the whole property from Bush to Sutter Street, this whole half a block.
Wow.
This woman, the good that she did for American history is not in dispute. However, how she accomplished that good is a mixture of fact and fiction, more fact and some self-perpetuating fiction. This woman was said to be over 6 feet tall. 1 brown eye, 1 blue eye. She owned shops, businesses, restaurants, laundries, boarding houses throughout San Francisco. And she was worth $30 million. For anybody in any era, an accomplishment. For a woman in the Victorian era, quite an accomplishment. For an African-American woman,
Oh, I know who she
Heard of
is.
her, yeah.
almost unheard of, but only almost.
Amazing.
This is Mary Ellen Pleasant.
Yeah.
Hers is a complicated, obscure, controversial story of San Francisco history. I also think she's she was she's an unsung hero of San Francisco history. So I start with her story. If I may poke right through you for a second, sir.
Promised I was yours to have, to hold. My love makes you haunt me, haunt me.
Yes, I do.
By the same as the Todd, that's the life I carve it. By the same as the
One you need.
We can do. Is it one silver or?
The tour was amazing. I'm now home after going to San Francisco and going on the tour and going to Bonham, and I got beignets and cappuccino, and we sang Smashing Pumpkins all the way home. I'm so tired, guys. I'm an old lady. It's time for bed. So, I hope that you guys go to this tour. I hope that I showed you enough information just from a little clip. I didn't put the whole thing in there because I don't want his whole agenda to be, his whole tour to be like given away. I want you guys to go. So, San Francisco Ghost Tour, Historical Ghost Tour. I will put the website. Go to it. Go check it out. It's cute, it's fun, it's funny, it's great. You'll love it. And now I'm gonna go to bed. So, comment, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. I believe in you guys. I believe in you more than I believe in ghosts. So that's a lot. Have a good night.